the defense has been their bread and butter, and they sort of fell off the wagon a little bit the last couple weeks. They started well against Cincy, and then they couldn't get it going over the last couple games. But they come in to Chicago and blow the doors off with their defense. They sack Caleb Williams 9 times. They only allow 3 points. Heading into this game, Taylor, they only had 16 sacks over their first 9 games. They had 9 today. So they were all over him. Great game. Jeremiah Farms, 3 tackles for loss, hits the quarterback, 5 tackles. Keon White had pressure all day, finishes with, I believe, 2 sacks, maybe 1 sack. I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but quarterback hit. He also defended a pass. Dietrich Wise was wreaking havoc as well. So a really solid day overall for this defense, especially the pressure they got on Caleb Williams all day.
Oh, yeah, especially the fact they were able to keep him in the pocket for most of the game. He had a couple of key conversions. I think one, like I saw Daniel Aquale was on the ground. Another one where it looked like Farms and Aquale were the 2 guys that were in the area. But for the most part, what they did a lot was it looked like they were sending blitzes. So every gap was pretty much covered, and it forced Caleb Williams to stay inside and not really have a whole lot of area to make plays happen. Gerard Mayo mentioned, DeMarcus Covington mentioned. We heard from all the defenders that this guy is scrambler, he's athletic, he's elusive, and all these things. So that was clearly a massive area of emphasis. So good to see them be able to keep Caleb Williams hemmed in for the most part, especially when it came to not letting him extend plays and then use his arm. The coverage on the back end seemed fantastic. It felt like in every obvious passing situation, Caleb didn't have anywhere to go outside of underneath throws. Now, to be fair, I don't think that Caleb Williams and his receivers, maybe even the offense, helped him out because there were so many, especially third downs, where the ball wasn't close. I was thinking, have any of his throws on third down even been catchable in this game? It's hard to know. We don't really know their offense, whether it's on Caleb, whether his receivers aren't running the right routes. But, hey, the defense took advantage. You had some really kind of breakout-y performances from a few guys. Brendan Schooler, someone that really, I don't think he's taken any special team snaps. So they've been very
defensive snaps.
Snaps. If so, they've been very limited. But he ends up, I think he got 2 hits and also a sack on Caleb Williams. 2 times he was kind of a mug linebacker as a spy on Caleb. Another time he actually came down from depth in the middle of the field. I'm not sure if that was like a zone thing where he basically just adjusted post snap, or if he was a true spy and they just wanted to kind of give a different look or whatever. But really cool role from him. Hopefully we see more of that moving forward, because with his range, his tackling ability, and obviously the physicality, he's a really good option for that kind of QB spy role. Trying to think of some other guys we haven't really touched on yet. Del Pettis, our boy, has looked really good in man coverage. Struggled a bit in run defense last week. Some late recognition kind of plagued him, but has a pass breakup, and he has a sack after coming in unblocked on a 0 blitz. Also looked like Caleb wanted to throw behind him, but Pettis putting his arms up may have prevented that throw. So really good play from those 2 guys. Also, I think it was Pettis' first start of his entire career. Got the start over the veteran Jalen Hawkins. So really a testament to him once again with Kyle Duggar out. You touched on it, Jeremiah Farms. I mean,
great game from him.
He's shown flashes throughout the season. We've seen he'll have a crazy quick win as a pass rusher, or he'll knock somebody back against the run. But you haven't really seen a performance like this where he put it together and there weren't any glaring mistakes, at least not that I noticed live. So want to give him credit as well. Anthony Jennings, there were some big runs that went to his side, but you know what? He made up for it. He had 2 sacks on the day. Also had some run stops when they tried to target him. And then Keon White. It's not perfect. It looked like he was actually benched early on for Curtis Jennings, because in that kind of base defense, usually it's Jennings and Keon White as the outside linebackers. We really saw Curtis Jacobs early on, which is kind of strange. And then I tweeted, the second that Keon White entered the game in that package, they ripped off a long run kind of targeting him. But it looked like he found his groove throughout the game and really was able to bounce back. So impressive performance from this defense. Obviously, the run game, there were some, pretty significant body blows they let up. Again, I think they'll probably get charged with 2 or 3 explosive runs allowed, but they weren't backbreakers. And also DeAndre Swift kind of helps you when he's running behind a bad offensive line, and he's got pretty terrible vision, just being totally honest. I think that kind of helped the run defense. But it was the first time they didn't allow 4 yards per carry since week 2. So I don't care who you're playing. The point of the game is to beat whoever's in front of you. They managed to do that, capitalize on a Bears offense that has a lot of passing weapons, but they're not very well coached, as we saw today. Caleb Williams' protection wasn't there, and the run game wasn't there. So great stuff from the Patriots defense.
Yeah, another great a pass defense, pass breakup from Marcus Jones on that 4th and 10 play on the sideline. He looked really good, not only as a punt returner, which we'll get to a little bit of that when we talk special teams, but he looked good in the back end as well. Like you said, he wasn't I would say he was up and down in run defense, but he makes that solid pass breakup on the sideline. The run defense too against this Chicago team, they allow 73 yards on 20 carries. Like you said, under 4 yards, 3.7 yards. Their Chicago's long run was only 10 yards from Caleb Williams, so not terrible. DeAndre Swift had a long of 9, but he only averaged 3.7 yards a carry. And they really hold all of those wide receivers in check for the most part. Keenan Allen is their leader with 5 for 44. DJ Moore only 3 for 24, someone who cannot get on the same page as Caleb Williams for the life of them. They show him on the sideline. They're getting their asses handed to him. He's sitting there smiling and laughing. I like DJ Moore. He got paid. Good on him. He has not had a great season, has been not been able to get on the same page with Caleb. And that's why I want to tie this into Shane Waldron and this Chicago offense, Taylor, because they don't have it. And I kind of want to go to you and try and defer to you here because I can't quite figure out what it is, but we talked about it in our lead up and evaluating this team in this game. And look, Caleb Williams, yes, he's been up and down. Yes, he's running around like a maniac right now, but he's played some pretty good football this year when he had to. He had a huge game overseas, I believe, against Jacksonville, threw 5 touchdowns. He's looked really good. He's also looked really bad. But then you have DeAndre Swift, not great vision, but someone who can be an impact in both the run game and the pass game. And then you have that 3-headed monster in Allen Odunze and DJ Moore, Cole Kmet as well. Like, what is going on with this offense? Because they scored 3 points. I believe they've now lost, I want to say 2 or 3 in a row. And this is the second consecutive game where they haven't scored a touchdown. So first and foremost, what's up with the play calling and Shane Waldron? And do you think that, I know this is kind of, maybe not reactionary is the right word, but like, could they go and just fire Shane Waldron after today? Because their offense has been abysmal, and I don't see how it's going to get any better.
I think, yeah, I usually don't like to say you could fire somebody this fast, and I don't know if they're going to fire Shane Waldron, but it is just so bad in a way that feels like it's almost probably hurting Caleb Williams. Yeah. And just keep saying with Alex Van Pelt, like, yeah, the Patriots offense isn't great, and the spacing issues we've talked about and like some questionable play calls, sure. But it's never felt so bad where it's like he literally does not have a shot when he's dropping back sometimes. Now, I don't know the Bears passing offense inside and out. Like, I don't want to start talking out of my rear or anything like that. There was a questionable call. Like, there was an early 3rd down where it felt like they could have gone for it. So they try a screen, and I thought that was really kind of an odd choice to make. Horrible timeout management in the first half. I think they blew 2 of their timeouts before they got even close to the end of the first half. So, yeah, just a poorly managed offense. I think Caleb Williams has some of the issues that you saw in college, just like Drake May, where with Drake, yeah, sometimes he'd have the superheroics. I think now, like, everything that he struggled with in college is kind of starting to come out. With Caleb, I think we've seen that with the accuracy at times. No, like, crazy scrambles or anything from him like you did see sometimes in college, although those can kind of get overblown. But yeah, I don't want to get too far into the Bears because I'm just not super familiar with them based on or outside of my prep. But yeah, that's like I said before the game. I feel like the Bears are closer to what people think Alex Van Pelt is than what Alex Van Pelt actually is. And you saw that today.
Yeah, 100%. I want to get into that. I want to get into some of the trickery we saw finally from Alex Van Pelt's offense. It felt like he kind of he took the blinders off a little bit and kind of wanted to give them a chance on, some trick plays and some, I guess, misdirection and things of that nature. So we'll get into that when we talk about the offense. But before we do, any final thoughts on this Patriots defense? I mean, again, 9 sacks on Caleb, only 16 going into the game. Farms, White, Wise. The run defense was solid. Anthony Jennings, good. We've talked about Jennings where, he's a great run defender. Probably one of the better ones in the league at just his position, right? Didn't we have that conversation the other day where if you had to pick a Patriot to be like really good at one position, who would you pick? And it was Anthony Jennings. We thought about somebody else, I think, but he's been great in run defense, but also really solid today in the pass rush aspect as well. So any final thoughts on the defense before we move this thing on to the offense?
Yeah, Anthony Jennings had 6 pressures today. So, again, just a monster performance from him. Been the Patriots' most consistent player, I'd say really the past 2 years. Barmore, I think, last year was just on a different level. But if you're going the past 2 years combined, he's probably been their most consistent guy. And also Dietrich Wise needed to get helped off the field. I'm not sure if he had a dead leg. It looked like somebody might have leg whipped him or something like that. So hopefully he's all right. But he also had a monster performance. What do you have? He had 2 sacks for combined 8 yards, 2 quarterback hits, a tackle for loss, and a pass broken up on that final drive. So a really good game from him. And also Marcus Jones, awesome pass breakup. I believe it was on 3rd down against Keenan Allen, was trailing. And then once he got back into position, got his head around and broke it up. Christian Gonzalez had hand on a pass as well. So yeah, just good overall performance from those guys.
Do we have some Christian Gonzalez stats behind
Ooh,
here
do
that we got? Oh, look at that! Some from
Thanks,
next
bro.
looks like some next gen stats here from Los Talks Pats. Christian Gonzalez lines up against the three-headed monster we talked about. 2 targets on him versus DJ Moore. Only 1 catch for 18 yards allowed. No catches for Keenan Allen lined up against Gonzalez, and 2 targets, no catches for Rome Odunze. So Gonzo continues to be solid. How bad is my mic? We're getting talks from. You can hear me fine? All right. It's just our annoying producer in the back end. Kidding, Amit. We love you. So yeah, Christian Gonzalez continues to man up. He had that nice I think you had tweeted about it where he basically didn't allow DJ Moore to get any more than he already had. One a solid tackle there. So good stuff from Gonzo. And so on the defense too, just wrapping up the injuries, Marcellus Dial leaves the game with a concussion. Taki leaves the game with a hamstring. I don't remember if he came back. And then didn't Mapu come off towards the end as well? He looked like he was limping at the end.
I think he did, yeah.
So
right.
We shall see what happens there with the Patriots defense. But even with, obviously, they trade Josh Uche, lacking in pass rush. They end up claiming, they claim Yannick Ngakoue. He doesn't play. They still get after the quarterback today, have a dominant performance, something that I was looking for them to get going in the second half of the season, and they do so today.